Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. Happy Monday, friends. Happy Thanksgiving week. And happy third season. So many things to celebrate today. As you can see, this is the first episode of season 3 of The Juice. Obviously, Saturday I did not do The Juice, so I apologize again if anyone, misses me when I don't do it. I don't know, but at least that time I did get a chance to post and let you guys know that I was going to do it. Long story short, as you guys know, I mentioned to you all I was going to be recording some episodes of God, Sex, and Love, the talk show, and so some of the recordings and conversations ran a little late, so Friday night or whatever, they ran a little late, so Saturday morning when I woke up, I just had no energy. Like my alarm went off, but I just had energy to post hey, good morning, I'm not gonna do it, and then I think I posted the Bible verse for today, and then that's it. I went back to sleep because I was like, I need to get this rest, because I know once little man gets up, that's a whole thing, and then it's Saturday and all the things, and so and then I knew I was going to be recording on Saturday too, so that's why. So I apologize again if you were looking for the juice for Saturday, but I'm here today, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I woke up early and in anticipation to wake up for the juice. So here I am. I know this is going to be an interesting juice today because long story short, I dreamed, I guess, several little dreams last night, but one of them included ants. either it included ants, or a thought in the midst of my waking up and going to sleep included ants. So I was like, okay, we'll see if I'm still thinking about ants when I get done with the routine, and I was. So here we are. So today's topic is consider the ants. Before I get into that though, just to update on Allie, for those of you guys that are following her story and everything with me, it seems to be that they're still on the run or whatever, or they're still traveling or trying to figure out what to do. If you guys don't understand, it's kind of like they've left their livelihood, they left their home and everything in order to just kind of, I guess, not be caught up by whoever's following them and all of that stuff, and so we'll just keep them in their prayers, keep them in our prayers, because obviously, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I know I would share her update video because I see that there's a video that she did last night, and you guys know I usually would share them. However, her profile has gone private right now, or she's put her profile private because of, I guess, some of the backlash she's getting about, sharing her story. And so, and I didn't watch the full video yet because it was an hour and I was like, I'll just watch it later today and I'll let you guys know. But I think it was more so a Q&A. So she's answering a lot of questions about the human trafficking and the children trafficking and all that stuff. And so if you guys have any questions, maybe I can throw them in and see if she'll answer them. So hey, send them to me and I'll send them to her and see. I definitely have tried to reach out because I know at one point she was saying something about doing interviews, and I was like, well, hey, if it helps, I would love to interview her or whatever the case is. So we'll see what the Lord do, whatever. But no matter what, we're just praying that they're safe, and we know that Thanksgiving is coming up and stuff like that, and so let's just pray that they're able to have some type of peace in this time of gratitude that we're all supposed to be in. But anyway, let's get into it, y'all. Consider the ants. Proverbs 30:24-25 says, 4 things on earth are small, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they provide their food in the summer. I found it interesting that it describes ants as people, or a people. It made me want to go and define people again, just to kind of see if there's some other definition that I'm not familiar with. Because usually when you think of people, you think of humans. But I don't know, because I also feel like I've heard recently, or I want to say over the few months when I've been doing this, of God being referred to as the person of God and things like that. So perhaps there's some other definition there that I'm just not familiar with at the moment, and unfortunately I didn't look it up. So I don't know, it makes me want to go deeper on that and look into that, but not that it makes a difference. I understand that ants are ants or whatever the case is, but as it says here, people that are not strong, yet they are very wise because they provide their food in the summer. The dream, or whatever the thought that I had last night about ants, all I remember is it had something along the lines of, I think either somebody was questioning the purpose of ants. Or something like that. That's what was going on in my dream, or my random thought that I had about ants. That's all I remember anyway. So I don't know, but hey, we're here. At least I'm here sharing this. But I will say, my little research about the ants, or my getting these Bible verses together this morning, was starting to kind of make me be like, oh Lord, let me make sure that let me be more like the ants, Lord. Am I? Look, listen, you're going to understand when you hear some of these verses. Here we go. Proverbs 6:6-8 says, go to the ants, O sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Without having any chief, officer, or ruler, she prepares her bread in the summer and gather her food in harvest. Man, so there's a lot of references in these verses, or the upcoming verses, about the sluggard. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Lord knows I don't want to be the sluggard, you know what I mean? Even though I can say that I can attest that sometimes I do feel like I could be a little lazy about some stuff. But at the same time too, it's maybe it's also stemming from a conversation I had over the weekend. You guys want to see as well in an upcoming episode what I had with a young woman named Krista Hayes. We were kind of talking about work and everything like that, and even though we weren't talking about this aspect of work, but the thing is, it's but we did kind of touch on it a little bit, the whole idea of not sitting on your gifts, not sitting on your talents and things like that. When God has blessed you with, a gift or talent, or, whatever He has placed inside of you, we need to be doing that thing, and not just, not doing the thing, if that makes any sense, and not. But, yeah, so it's interesting to really, really reflect on, okay, am I being the sluggard right now? Do I need to consider the ants? Are the ants more wise than me right now? These are questions that you should ask yourself. Questions I'm asking myself, questions that you guys can ask yourself as well. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, but if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. I know I've talked about this in the past, this whole thing about being a husband. So I'm assuming, I'm not just assuming that it's talking about just that. I mean, the verse can also refer to women and wives as well. But in particular, it's saying about his household and everything like that. Again, I just would, consider this, consider where you at and where you fall in this category, or if you fall in this category, because according to this right here, you're worse than an unbeliever if you do. So hey, you might not want to. Check this out. Here's some questions for us this morning. Proverbs 6:9 says, "How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep?" My goodness. Then Proverbs 21:25 says, "The desire of the sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse labor." This can be seen in so many ways. Like, I mean, yeah, with work, but then also like, with the spirit as well. Like, again, taking out that time spiritually every day with God, if we're not doing that, that can kill us, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot that can be said about that. So I will let that marinate and see what God is showing you this morning with those verses. But yeah, I mean, no matter what, I think if nothing else, it's pretty apparent and clear that, we do not want to be like the sluggard, and we do want to be more like the ants. I'm going to leave you this verse for you all to just let marinate before I get into the Bible verse of the day. And that last verse for this juice is Ephesians 2:10. It says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, that we should walk in them." It's important, friends, to walk in what God has prepared beforehand. No matter what that work is, no matter what God's leading you to do, it's just important. I know I've shared this quote before, but I mean, I'll share it again because it's something that I keep on my heart and mind, that, somebody somewhere is waiting for you to do what God has put on your heart to do, or something along those lines is how that quote goes. It's like I always mess it up every time I try to share it with you guys, but someone is waiting for you to do what you're supposed to do. At the end of the day, I know over the weekend, as I was recording the episodes, and even I feel with this, even though I get a little bit of feedback with this, but not as much. So hey, if you guys are listening, please let us know, or y'all want to talk about any of the things I'm saying, or whatever the case is. I'm open to dialogue and conversation. It's not that I'm just out here just being like, and I'm saying everything, whatever, and it's gold. I mean, other than I guess the Bible now. Other than that, yeah, but any of my personal thoughts, if y'all would have questions about it or talk about it, that's cool. But anyway, but what I'm saying is that as I was doing the things that God has put on my heart to do, like doing the talk show and doing the now doing the juice and stuff like that, most of the time, some of the people I talk to, or some of the people I've interviewed or something like that, like as we talk personally, whether it be as we're doing the show or afterwards or whatever the case is, a lot of them has expressed that, wow, either I needed this, or wow, I enjoyed this, or they've expressed whatever they see in me or whatever for doing this, and at the end of the day, like, not to say that these people again, I guess I did get some feedback. Like I said, when I first started, I want to say maybe I was a month or so in, I shared with you guys that, the young lady that reached out to me from Mexico. And I'm like, wow, people have been listening to me in Mexico. It's just, like, we're all connected. And because of that, it's like, there's room for all of us to do the things that God has blessed us to be able to do. And, and if we're not operating in that, then, there's going to be some type of, I guess, disconnect to a certain extent. It's just like we just need to all be operating in the gifts and the blessings and the things that God has, just automatically given us, and working those things, and not being a sluggard, and being led by God in those things, because it helps the whole entire body and community, I guess, to function. And I know, again, me and the young woman had this conversation about that over the weekend. And so, yeah, I mean, and I can see that. I can see that in my life. It's the reason why I'm sharing this with you all. I can see that happening, even with just this whole God, sex, and love thing. Again, I understand that people have other platforms, like any of the people that I've talked to, they could have clearly talked to anybody, or whatever the case is. And again, I don't think I'm saying anything that's new or, or super profound. Like, I don't know, but I just, anybody could do it, I guess, or if they are meant to. But at the same time, too, I do feel it does feel good to know, or to get that confirmation that, because you're in the right place at the right time, it's helping me, and I think that's what we all are supposed to do and everything like that. So that's just something to think about and marinate on, friends. I have several verses in the Go Deeper section that you guys can continue this, this thought in regards to considering the ants. But let's get into the Bible verse of today, and that is 1 John 4:19. It says, "We love him because he first loved us." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. Pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. If you like what you hear, then consider supporting our podcast. Every listener that supports us for $9.99 a month will be entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win a free gift. So become a supporter today.